The emergency beacon echoed through the diplomatic chambers of the Galactic Council, its crimson pulse casting ominous shadows across the assembled delegates. Ambassador Keth of the Velen Republic stood at the central podium, his forearms trembling as he delivered the grim report. "The Void Swarm has consumed the Outer Rim colonies," Keth announced, his voice barely steady. 12 systems have gone dark in the past rotation. Our combined fleets are no match for their adaptive technology. Murmurs of despair rippled through the chamber. The Void Swarm, an ancient mechanical plague that devoured worlds and converted matter into more of itself, had awakened from its million-year slumber. Every species in the galaxy knew the old stories, the warnings passed down through generations, about the unstoppable tide of destruction. Elder Nora of the crystalline quell raised her translucent form. "Our shields cannot hold. Their nanites adapt to every frequency we deploy." "The Thurian armadas lasted mere hours," added General Vex, his reptilian features drawn with exhaustion. "They consumed our strongest warships and incorporated the technology within minutes." The chamber fell silent. Every major civilization had thrown their best weapons, their most advanced defenses at the swarm. Nothing worked. The mechanical plague learned from every encounter, growing stronger with each victory. Captain Jira of the Merchant Guild stepped forward hesitantly. "There is one option we have not considered," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Speak," commanded the Council Prime. Jira's tentacles writhed nervously. "The humans. They possess something we lack." A collective gasp filled the chamber. Several delegates recoiled visibly at the mention of the galaxy's most notorious species. "You cannot be serious." Elder Nora's form flickered with agitation. "Humans are monsters. Their entire civilization is built on violence and chaos. They wage war for entertainment," General Vex added with disgust. "Their history is nothing but endless conflict." Ambassador Keth's arms crossed defensively. "They destroyed their own homeworld through warfare, then spread across the stars like a plague themselves. How could we possibly trust such creatures? The reputation of humanity preceded them wherever they went. Stories of their brutal wars, their casual violence, their ability to find conflict in any situation had become legend across the galaxy. Most civilized species went to great lengths to avoid human space entirely." Captain Jira stood her ground. "Their reputation for violence is exactly why they might succeed where we have failed. The swarm operates on logic, adaptation, efficiency. Humans operate on something else entirely." "Madness," General Vex muttered. "Perhaps," Jira conceded. "But their madness might be our salvation. They do not think like us. They do not follow predictable patterns. If anyone can find a weakness in the swarm's adaptive algorithms, it would be them." The debate raged for hours. Some delegates argued that allying with humans would be trading one destroyer for another. Others pointed out that the swarm left no survivors, while humans at least negotiated treaties occasionally. Finally, Council Prime called for silence. "The choice before us is extinction or the unknown. I call for a vote." The decision was narrow, but the measure passed. Within hours, a desperate message was transmitted to the nearest human outpost. The response came faster than expected. A single, human vessel, scarred and weathered, dropped out of hyperspace at the galaxy's edge. Its captain, a grizzled woman named Blake, met with the council delegation aboard her ship. "So you need us to stop this swarm thing," Blake said, studying the tactical displays with casual interest. "What makes you think we're any different from your fancy fleets?" Ambassador Keth struggled to find diplomatic language. "Your species has a reputation for unconventional approaches to warfare." Blake laughed, a harsh sound that made several aliens step back. "You mean we're crazy enough to try stupid things that might actually work?" "Essentially, yes." "Fair enough." Blake turned to her crew. "Tom, get me our files on adaptive AI systems. Lisa, start prepping the Chaos Protocol. And someone wake up Doc Martinez. We're going to need his special toys." The human preparations made no sense to the galactic observers. Instead of advanced weaponry, they loaded their ships with seemingly random equipment: musical instruments, art supplies, kitchen utensils, sporting goods, and countless other items that served no apparent military purpose. What is the strategic value of these objects? Elder Nora asked, examining a collection of children's toys. That's the point, Blake grinned. There isn't one. The swarm adapts to logical threats, tactical patterns, strategic thinking. We're going to hit it with pure, random human nonsense. When the human fleet engaged the swarm, the galaxy watched in amazement. The humans attacked with no discernible pattern, using weapons and tactics that defied military logic. They fired paint cannons alongside plasma batteries, deployed musical frequencies that served no tactical purpose, and conducted their battles with the chaotic enthusiasm of a playground fight. The swarm's adaptive systems, designed to counter logical military responses, could not process the humans' approach. Every time the mechanical plague adjusted to counter one tactic, the humans had already switched to something completely unrelated. Captain Blake's flagship launched a barrage of rubber ducks, while her escort vessels played death metal at maximum volume. The swarm's nanites, attempting to analyze the tactical significance of the ducks, were caught off guard by a simultaneous assault of conventional missiles launched to the rhythm of the music. Within days, the tide of the war shifted. The swarm, for the first time in recorded history, began to retreat, its adaptive systems overloaded by the sheer unpredictability of human warfare. As the last swarm ships fled into deep space, the galaxy found itself in an unprecedented situation. The most feared species had become their unlikely saviors. In the aftermath, as cleanup operations began across the liberated systems, Ambassador Keth found himself aboard Blake's ship once more. "Why did you help us?" he asked. "Our species have never been allies." Blake shrugged, cleaning her weapons with the same casual attention she might give to washing dishes. "Because it needed doing, and because someone asked nicely." The simplicity of the answer baffled the ambassador. Here was a species capable of defeating an ancient mechanical plague through pure chaos, yet they operated on principles as basic as courtesy and necessity. "Will you stay?" Keth asked. "Help us rebuild?" Blake shook her head. "That's not really our thing. We're better at breaking things than fixing them. Besides, you folks seem pretty capable when you're not panicking about ancient death machines." As the human fleet prepared to depart, Captain Blake left the galactic delegates with a final thought. "Next time you're facing something impossible, remember this. Sometimes the best solution isn't the smartest one. Sometimes you just need someone crazy enough to try something that shouldn't work." The humans vanished into hyperspace, leaving behind a galaxy forever changed by the realization that their most feared neighbors were also their most unlikely heroes.